much. Coming at you live Thursday, April the 26th, 2012. Sandra, what's going on?
Oh my God, this is live TV. Okay, I'm so late. I just got here like 2 minutes ago because I'm stuck in traffic.
Get out.
Construction. You know, it took me like 15 minutes to get from Mount Sinai to here. I could have walked in 5.
Of course. Yeah, it's easier to get around.
Construction. Oh
yeah,
my
construction.
God. But they don't plan for it very well because you're down to one lane, and so everybody can turn left onto University. Turn right. You can't go around them, so you're stuck.
Well, that's what happens
like
when you're down to one lane.
Oh my God.
That's why
Okay.
bike's really the best way to get around.
I have to tell you what happened yesterday.
Okay.
Tell me if you know anything about this. Okay, I was with my friend. We were I was on the passenger seat, and she was in the car and driving, and she was on her cell phone.
Driving.
We were at a red light.
Yeah.
Okay, we're at a red light, and she's driving. Well, we're stopped. She's not driving, so we're actually stopped. Some lady walks into the middle of the car, takes a picture with her cell phone, and then points to us, and then gestures with the cell phone on the ear and says, and basically, like, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, and then walks away.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
I don't know, but it was all over the internet this morning. Went viral.
So then you knew that was me?
I knew it was what, because I know what you look like.
No, seriously. What is that all about?
It's just about the new, it's like...
it's not a cop, right? That can't be a cop, could it?
Well, no.
I'm thinking, oh my God, she's going to get a ticket. The girl, my friend.
Maybe.
Could it be a cop? This girl was plain clothes.
I doubt it. I really doubt it. But it's like, you know, people feel like sometimes people feel that they are the ones who are...
vigilantes.
You know, kind of vigilantes, yeah. But and think about all the instances where this is, where now people are using video to, like, whether police are doing despicable things at G20 protests, or you know, or former attorney generals are beating up bikers, killing them. You know, people, if they catch it on tape, they can it's plastered all over the internet.
But you know what? You know what really bothered me? The fact that I didn't know who this person was. The fact that, you know, she kind of invaded our privacy. She came right up to us, and can they do that? Like, even if she does splash our picture all over, isn't that illegal?
Maybe it is.
Like, people have to sign release forms, don't they?
Well, here's the thing. Yeah, it's the technology, just like anything else. How technology is forcing record companies and content providers to change their business models, as it always has done. Every time technology changes, you know, it presents problems for old industry and creates opportunities for new ones, and that's how things change.
So
It's kind of it's creating a lot of questions about how we deal with it legally.
Yeah, because where's the line drawn that's invasion of your privacy? If it's a police officer, then they have to let you know right then and there, don't they? Then they have to kind of stop you and say, okay, wait a second, you got caught, here's your ticket. Or can somebody actually take this and then send this to a police officer?
I doubt it.
Like, that would be really interesting. Then I'm thinking, okay, so we have to come up with an argument. So I'm thinking, okay, so we were actually parked at the red light. If we're actually in our parking...
You're making that up now.
No, but I'm thinking...
No, we have proof. You're on video.
Yeah, but that's okay, because she wasn't a police officer. And you know what? Somebody said to me, if she puts your posts your picture, she can be more in trouble for actually doing that without your permission.
Yeah, potentially. But although there have been a lot of tragic cases, like, you know, these poor high school kids that somebody takes a video of them acting goofy and it goes viral, and the next thing you know, they commit suicide, which has happened. It's very sad.
Yes, yeah, that's true.
But it's just another example of how the technology is forcing us into a new environment that we don't quite know how to deal with.
And I don't really know how you can come up with any kind of laws to govern that kind of technology.
Well,
I think we're pretty much on our own. I don't know. I guess maybe that's the reason we need or don't need vigilantism. I don't know.
I don't know.
It was an interesting dilemma. I had really mixed feelings about that, because I thought, okay, if it's a police officer, that's one thing, but if it's just an ordinary person who's taking vigilantism, I just think it was a person who got a ticket and had a vendetta. I just think she got a ticket and was probably trying to take that back out and say, okay, well, if I got look at this person's wrong too.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe.
Anyway, it was just interesting.
It is interesting.
It is. It's an interesting dilemma.
That's what happens when you have cameras everywhere.
That's, yeah, a photo. It's the cell phones.
It's everything.
It's oh my God. I love when people use it to see UFOs though.
Those are all fake.
No, they're not.
But you really believe in the UFOs?
Of course. They're unidentified flying objects, okay? Doesn't mean they're extraterrestrial. It just means they're not identified, right? That could mean anything, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I do believe in it.
Well, we'll see.
Don't you, Hugh?
I don't know. I've never actually seen a UFO. Actually, I did, but I kind of said. I tried to convince my mom that it was a UFO. It was just a light in the sky.
So you think all those videos are fake?
No, it's really it's probably a mystery.
See, here's what I'm thinking. Okay, I'm thinking, of course, there's going to be some fake ones, of course, but there's got to be some real. Don't they say there's truth to every rumor? Every rumor has some fabric of truth to it.
No.
No?
That's not true.
Okay, so you're just trying to.
Not every
remember
rumor.
that. All right, okay. So I shouldn't believe that rumor about you
I gotta
then.
tell you, I watched a video last night. David Icke.
David Icke, yeah.
Ike and all the lizards and everything.
I love him.
Yeah, well, he's.
You know what? Whether you believe this guy or not, he absolutely is sincere. He believes in what he's doing, and so you can't fault him. Yeah, I think he is absolutely amazing in that he's very brave to come forward and say the things that he's saying.
Unless he's just part of the disinformation league.
What do you think?
I don't know.
What's your feel? What's your gut?
I met him once.
Did you really?
Yeah, he was here in Toronto.
Oh,
This
I
is
love
back
David
before
Icke.
he got really huge, and he was giving a talk, and I met him, and
I bet he hasn't changed.
he
terms of
he used to be a
personality?
sportscaster
I heard.
in Britain.
Yeah.
And then something happened, and then he
Then
started
he
doing
went
this.
into the Green Party, and he was creating a Bill of Rights for animals.
Okay.
He was saying animals should be treated the same because they're sentient beings, and they should be treated with the same kind of respect that humans should. And he did this 30 years ago when he was really a lot younger than he is now. So he was actually, I think, a visionary. I think when you look at his career, it's actually a natural next step. This man had a lot of courage with everything that he did. He had, I mean, he took a lot of ridicule. Apparently, a lot of people in England, when he first came out with the information that he is coming out with now, apparently people just laughed at him and threw things at him on the street.
Well, it sounds a little weird. The whole
It
lizard
is a
thing.
little weird. But he said he used to do talks, 2 people would show up. Now, 2,000 people are showing up.
Yeah.
So what does that say?
Yeah.
Either people are believing him or they're not happy
It's
with
an
where they are.
interesting message. You can sit and listen to that guy for 2 hours and not be bored.
Oh, he is
all.
amazing. And
Yeah.
his accent is awesome too.
Well, all those English accents are. Can't go wrong with an English
No,
accent.
can't.
Okay, shall we get busy with the show?
Michelle?
Because we have
I
an
think
interesting
we have a
show.
lot of guests, eh?
Yeah, we do. We've got Laura Rock is coming on. She's got a new CD that's going to be released very soon, and we're going to play some of that today.
So it's really Laura Rocks, right?
Yeah, we can go with that.
Yeah, I think so. Right, Laura? Yeah.
Also, Nick Beat is here. He's got a book.
Cool.
And it's always great to have Nick on the show. He's brought some guitars
The book.
too, so it looks like we're gonna have some live performers.
Oh, he's
Looking
a
forward to
performer
that.
too.
Absolutely.
We have lots of music tonight.
Yeah, today.
Today, sorry.
Or tonight, depends what time you're watching this. Also, Michel Emond is here.
Yes.
And he's going to be talking. He's suing the World Bank.
Excellent. Now he was here before,
Yeah.
and this is like the second part of his mission, I think.
Yeah,
Right. So
yeah.
this is going to be really, really cool.
Yeah, the first time he was here, he was talking about how to eliminate the debt worldwide, which we need to do somehow.
Going to
if
a
we're going to
13-month calendar.
have a viable economy. We got to get rid of that debt somehow. And today he's going to be talking about how he's suing the World Bank.
So he's really challenging the whole monetary system.
Yeah.
Really,
The-
that's very
well, the
cool.
financial
Michelle's
system.
he's another David Icke kind of,
Yeah. Something.
warrior.
Somebody who's trying to do something about the situation, which is great. Also, we're going to start the show off in just a couple minutes with Victor Rudick. He's the author of 1 Inch Army, volumes 1 and 2. 2 is giant, 1 is little. That means there's been a big addition. He's got over 270,000 toy soldiers. If you were a
How
kid,
do you have the space for that?
you
How
just,
big are toy soldiers? Are
well,
those
they're
like
all
little
different
things like
size.
this?
Well, he's got different sizes.
Oh,
we're gonna
okay,
take a look. in a couple minutes. So let's
I
get
bet
ready
you
for
they're
that.
all on display. I would like to go to his house and say, okay, so
Yeah, that would be cool.
randomly pick some and see if he could find them like that. I bet you he could.
You know what I would do if I were a kid and I had 270,000 toy soldiers? I would have a giant battleground all over the house. There would be a giant.
Yeah, and they'd be on the floor and people would be flipping all over because they'd be stepping on them,
Yeah,
right?
that would happen. It has happened in the past, even without 270,000.
Just one. It just takes one.
So,
Well, that sounds really interesting.
yeah,
Hopefully we'll get to see a few of them.
well, he brought some, so we're looking forward to that.
Yay. Excellent.
So let's take a little musical break.
Okay.
We'll play a track from Laura Rock's new CD, and then we're going to come back with Victor Rudick as Liquid Lunch gets underway on Thursday. We'll be right back.
Excellent.
Stop putting out my fire. I'll only light it again. I carry a torch for the love of music. I'm not gonna let you blow out the flame. Overloaded insecurities. It's got to be your only excuse. I got something to offer. I ain't gonna let ya lose it. Light my fuse, get out of the way. I want your gasoline, not your water. Light my fuse, you force me to choose. Well, things are only gonna get hotter. Spontaneous combustion. It's about to explode. Flashpoint high intensity. Don't you know I love my rock and roll? Can't you see that I live for this?
Yeah, most people remember the larger ones, the army men that you see in Toy Story and other things like that. But the little ones, well, they've been around a long time too. Before I had a digital camera. Test shots, prototypes. Yep.
Welcome back to Liquid Lunch. That was a track called, I don't know what it was called, because Laura Rock didn't, well, Light My Fuse. Should have been able to
My
get that
Fuse.
from the lyrics. Anyway, we're going to be hearing Laura's music throughout the show, so we're looking forward to more as we
Boy,
go
those
along
awesome,
here.
by the way.
Yeah. So we got Victor Rudick here joining us at the table. Victor, great to have you on the show.
Great.
Hi,
Thanks.
Victor.
Now, boy, you know what? It's like when I was a little kid, I
Well, I know
got
why
into
they're called. I know why it's called a 1-inch army.
Why?
Because they're 1 inch tall.
Yeah, some of them are. Well, this is the book. This is the new book,
This
right?
book is taller.
Right, Victor?
This book is
This book is thicker than the soldiers. Look how thick that is.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's 2 inches anyway.
Compared to this one, this is the original one. Look at the size difference.
Oh my
What
God.
happened, Victor? Did you
Yeah.
just 20 years of toy soldier collecting? Is that
Well,
what happened here?
It's they're separated by 10 years
Okay.
and a great leap in technology. The internet has really expanded a lot, so my research ability expanded a lot as
So
well.
there's a lot more research in the second book.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
And lots of pictures. I've noticed there's a lot of pictures.
Yeah, both black
Colored,
and white
yeah.
and color. I contacted
Wow, look at that.
hundreds of companies. My sister
Wow,
helped a lot.
nice.
And I have been in touch with people all around the world trying to get information. And in some cases, I could just find out that a company existed and maybe one set that they made. They've been making them since the 1930s in that scale.
Wow.
It's all one. Is it all one scale that you're looking at?
Approximately. It's everything from about HO scale, which model railroaders would remember. The little figures
The
are
small ones.
a bit under an inch, to 35 millimeter.
Okay.
So
Wow.
approximately.
So these go along with, like, for example, when I was a kid, I had Lego, I had Dinky Toys, I had O gauge model railroads,
yeah.
which was a little bit bigger, right? And it was always a way to use all these different things, but you had to have them at the same scale. The HO trains would have been too small for Dinky Toys, right? You might
Yeah.
have had to go with the Matchbox or something like that if you were going
The-
along with the HO gauge.
Yeah, though when we were kids, it really didn't matter.
Oh, it mattered to me.
Oh, a purist.
Type A personality. So, okay, so to someone who, like myself, who knows nothing about this, what is HO scale?
HO
question.
scale is approximately 1/87th. So 1 inch in our world would be shrunk down to 1/87th of an inch.
Okay.
Or
So
1
does-
inch equals 87 inches.
Okay. 1 inch. Okay.
So let's say a figure is a bit tall, an inch tall.
Okay.
In reality, they'd be 87 inches tall.
Okay, well, that's like, do you know anybody who's
That's
80?
a big person.
Yeah, do you know anybody who's 87? Maybe a reptilian.
Basketball players, perhaps.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
Aha. Good segue
yes.
into something he brought.
Yeah, that's a limited edition set by a company called Caesar Miniatures. It was one of
Can we show this?
8
while we're
sets. One of
There we
8
go.
sets made for the Beijing Olympics. And out there in front is Yao Ming himself.
talking? Well, that's that real tall Chinese
Yeah.
basketball player.
So would that, is it safe to assume that he's a little bit more, he's 1 inch, he would be a 1 incher because he's 87, he's closer to the 87 inch thing?
Yeah, usually Caesar Miniatures makes figures that are 1/72nd, which is the big scale these days. Everyone's getting into that. That scale, it's a little easier to see the detail,
Okay.
and a lot of war gamers use that scale.
So 1/72nd, 1/72?
Yes. So 1 inch there would be 72 inches in reality.
Now, can the two play together?
If you're not a
Play-
purist.
Yes, if you're not a purist.
Okay, and he was cringing at that. So I guess for some people that's not okay. Can't we just all get along?
Well, it's like this. If you got, I don't know how you feel about this, Victor, but if you got World War II soldiers, you can't have them battling like War of 1812 soldiers. You
No,
know?
that wouldn't work out too well.
No.
Why?
It
Can't you just make up your own kind of battle?
Oh, yeah, and there are situations where you paint or you customize figures, making a jumble. I have one figure in here that I painted up, and he's a cyborg. He started off as a Roman soldier, and then I added in pieces of a watch that I found and a few other things.
Okay, you added pieces of a watch you found and you put it on this little thing.
Yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
the hands, a few other
You
little
have to have
bits and
very good
pieces.
eyesight and very steady hands to
He's
be
got
able
a
to do that.
magnifying glass as well.
Yeah.
So when you go to read, do you wear reading glasses yet?
No.
Okay, so that's going to be a bit of a challenge.
Someday it will, but for the most part, my eyesight's great. I really don't need these glasses.
Okay, okay. So you don't find that causes a strain on your eyes when you do little details like that?
Yes, it does cause a strain. It's really hard to spend so much time on a single figure.
No kidding. Intense
One figure in
concentration.
here, the Confederate with the flag.
I don't know if we can show this or even zoom in on it if we can, but just give people a picture. Can we zoom in on this?
See some of the detail to
Guys?
some of the.
Yeah.
Is that full zoom? Can we zoom in a bit more?
Yeah, they've shifted around a bit, but yeah, the Confederate figure in there took me 12 hours.
Wow, nice. So you've painted these.
Yeah.
You painted every single one in there?
In that box, yes. In my collection, no.
Wow, no, not.
I would need to live to about 30,000.
And then, but have eyes of a 30-year-old.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
And that's just not going to happen.
Now, Victor, how did you get into this? Like, were you into this toy soldier thing when you were a kid?
Well, it all started with a model train table that my dad started making, and he got over at least that particular midlife crisis when I was about 5, and he abandoned it in my parents' basement.
Mm-hmm.
And being about 5 years old, and I don't know how tall, I could barely poke my nose over the edge of the table, but I saw this incredible little world. And in that world, there was a pack of little HO scale figures. And yeah, they were cool. They went well with my little Matchbox cars and other toys I had. And over time, I picked up some other figures here and there, some from friends, and one set in particular was a bunch of ancient Egyptians.
Oh, wow.
I had no idea where they came from, who made them, anything like that. So fast forward to university. I received a pamphlet from an online or a mail order hobby company in the States. And one of the things that they were selling at a great discount were those ancient Egyptians. They were made by a company called Atlantic out of Italy. And by that point, Atlantic had gone broke. They shut down their operation in 1985. And anyway, I saw, hey, here are these great soldiers that I remember from my childhood, and they also make all these others. And they're really cheap. So I figured, hey, I'll buy them.
You mean through the pamphlet they were cheap?
Yeah, through the pamphlet, they were cheap. And so I bought quite a few boxes, and that just started me. I think I'm a born researcher, and from looking at the backs of the boxes, I could see, hey, they make all these other sets, and including a Roman Colosseum, Greek war fleet, Egyptian temple, things like that.
Wow.
And it just went from there. And one day I found out, hey, there's a toy soldier show down in New Jersey. So I actually flew into New Jersey to go to a toy soldier show.
Okay, were there a lot of people there?
Yeah, hundreds. Well, probably thousands.
Wow, amazing.
It's a piece of our culture, a subculture that most people never hear about, but we're everywhere.
Isn't that amazing? It's kind of like the Star Trek conventions.
Yeah, yeah.
That's kind of what it reminds me of.
Though we're
But
a
you'd
lot
never know
quieter.
well, you would never. What I mean by that is you'd never know to talk to somebody until they go to that convention. Then they're, it's like
Yeah.
all heck breaks loose, and then they really come out. And I get the sense that that's kind of what it is with you guys too. You just kind of quiet, do your own thing. But when you get together to talk about this, well, watch out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that's-
And it's interesting, in my research, I found there are all sorts of people out there, famous people, who are or have been toy soldier collectors, and we didn't know, like Malcolm Forbes, the
Wow.
billionaire,
Wow.
H.G. Wells.
So how did you find that out then? That these guys were.
Just online and reading magazines and things like that.
Okay, who else?
President Eisenhower. I've also heard the rumor that Mike Myers and Michael J. Fox are also collectors.
So these are like, there's a lot of in the closet toy
Yeah.
soldier collect.
Yeah.
Isn't
you
that
could say
interesting?
Now,
And-
okay,
oh, go ahead.
yeah, well, I don't know what to ask, but I mean, do you still play with them?
No, I'm an art collector.
Okay.
I am in it for these incredible miniature sculptures that, well, to paint them, to see the detail, it goes down to hundreds, thousandths of an inch. There are some figures
Wow.
where you can see the difference between their lips and their teeth.
Wow. So do you trade? What do you do with them?
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
just collect them, or do you pay for it? Like, do you sell them? How does this, is it like baseball cards where you kind of just flip and trade and that kind of thing?
There is a lot of buying and selling. For the most part, I'm a collector.
Okay, so you're buying more than you're selling.
And I also have a personal rule that I don't buy more than one of each set, unless it's a real rarity and I can get it for a great price.
I think you should make an appointment with Forbes and see if you can see his collection. Wouldn't that be nice?
Well, Forbes is gone.
Oh, he's gone?
Yes.
Okay, who's still alive that's famous that has them? Okay, maybe
Peter
Mike-
Jackson, the
Lord of the Rings guy.
Yeah.
Wow. He would have an interesting collection.
Oh yes.
Wouldn't you want to see his? Wouldn't
Yeah.
that be neat?
Now, whose is bigger? I mean, 270,000 seems like a lot. Do you think you might have the largest collection on the
No.
planet?
Get
No, it
out.
isn't. I know of several people who have larger collections.
Like how many? How much more could you possibly have?
Who's got the largest?
The largest I've heard, it isn't confirmed, 500,000.
So that's not really.
And is it somebody who's famous?
That's not too
No.
far to go. You're more than halfway there already.
Yeah.
Are you?
Another 5 years.
Are you going to intend to beat him? Get more than 500,000?
If I do, I do. If I don't, well, I can take solace in the fact that mine is the most diverse collection in the world.
But it must be really hard for you to find them. When you have this many, how do you find them? Like ones that are really appealing to you?
Well, it's a mix of eBay
Okay.
and online retailers all around the world. I've learned how to say toy soldier in about a dozen languages.
Mm.
Wow.
And though please don't test me.
Wow.
Yeah, and getting to know the manufacturers themselves.
Now, I'm just thinking, because you mentioned companies from Italy, and I didn't realize that there were so many. Like you say, you've got the most diverse collection in the world. I didn't realize there were so many manufacturers. When I was a kid,
Yeah.
it was like you'd go to Woolco or Woolworths or whatever, and there was a bag of green
Yes.
plastic World War II soldiers, and I thought pretty much that was about it. And has the world changed? Because today you can just imagine that these things are being mass-produced in China, and and a lot of the traditional manufacturers may have gone out of business. Is that the case? And what does that
Yeah.
what does that mean?
Well, diversification, it's all over the world. There are little guys that they're operating out of their basement, and they make one or two sets out of resin. Then there are the big manufacturers, the hobby companies that have been around forever, like Airfix. Airfix is still making stuff.
I remember them. They used to make. I think they made model airplanes and stuff too.
Yep,
right?
they still do.
Wow.
So do you also have the environments for these toy soldiers to play in?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay.
My place, I have one room. It's about 11 feet square and it's essentially a warehouse.
Okay.
I wish I had the room to set up dioramas, but I don't. And I keep my collecting life separate from the rest of my life.
Okay.
That way I'm not one of
Sounds
those
like-
crazy collectors
Sounds
out
like
there.
a sane thing to do.
Yeah. I try not to be one of those people where every square inch of space is covered in whatever, Hello Kitty or
Yeah. And that way people
things like
can't trip
that.
on them.
Well,
either,
it
right?
sounds like, though, you have enough stuff and it's diverse enough that maybe one day you can open up maybe even a museum or something like that and
that's a
actually
great idea.
charge money for people to
That's
come
a
and see
great
it.
idea.
Well, funny you should mention that. I have just made contact with someone at the ROM, at the Royal Ontario Museum, and my goal is to have them stage a special exhibit of my collection. or at
And
least
are
parts of
they
it.
expressing interest right now?
I haven't yet gotten to that point of asking, hey, let's do something here.
And I would think the ROM might only be one of a lot of different possibilities that you might
Venues.
be able to work
Yeah.
with, whether
yeah.
it's some of the military museums or, and there's a
certainly.
place over on University, I think. It's a military historical something or other.
Yeah.
So there's lots of possibilities.
Yeah, certainly the ROM, the AGO as
Yeah.
well, because they have their model ships in the basement.
Mm-hmm.
And
Have you ever thought of, even there's some sort of hobbies and collector shows, aren't there?
oh yeah,
Do you go to those?
oh yes, I'm going to a show in London, England, or Richmond,
Wow.
Surrey, end of the district subway line in London. I'm going there soon.
And do you bring all this? Do you have a booth? Is that what? Or are you just going as a
Collector.
attendant?
Well, I've gone there as a collector, and I've gone there selling my book,
Okay.
which helps support my hobby. Yes, must feed the beast.
Yes.
And
Now, which book?
Well, I would think that really with this new book that it's probably putting you on the map as kind of the expert
Yeah.
in the field.
yeah, actually, the first one, it was the first book of its kind.
Mm-hmm.
Came out in 2002, and I had reviewers all over the world saying this is the Bible
Mm-hmm.
of collecting. Which
Well, if this is the Bible, this here is the entire history of all literature.
Well, it says it's the definitive guide to small-scale plastic soldiers and accessories. So I guess that's like everything you could ever possibly want to know.
for
Is
now,
that up to
there's a lot out
2012?
there.
Up to 2012. Is this? Do you think this is a growing thing, Victor? Is
Oh,
it?
absolutely.
Okay.
It's a massively growing marketplace.
Why do you think that is? Any theories?
Well, a lot of people or a lot of guys who grew up with these little guys back in the 60s and 70s, now they're in their peak earning years.
Okay. Okay.
So they're in their midlife crises, or just looking to reconnect with something from
Of
their
it-
childhood.
that
And
makes a lot of sense.
I think too, it's like people would really like to command their own real armies,
Yeah.
but very few people can actually do that, so they have to resort to the
So is
the
this
toy
is this
soldiers.
the part that where everybody kind of wants to be like a Bush?
Oh no.
Like a-
More Napoleon.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. That's probably better.
Napoleonics are
Okay.
huge.
Okay. Okay.
Napoleonics.
Napoleonics.
World War II.
Okay.
Yeah, Napoleonics. So anything from the late 1700s through to 1815, Battle of Waterloo.
Wow.
Also, the anniversary's coming up, so that's going to be huge.
I know we're going to go, but just one quick question: do women buy this?
There are a few.
Okay.
There are a few.
Okay.
I bet they're highly sought after by the males.
Oh,
Well, I'm thinking it's like 99% market toward males.
So if you get that 1%, it's a good ratio.
You know why? Because women aren't into battlegrounds. I mean, we had like a hospital scene where, you know, we were saving lives, then you'd have women involved. I
Well,
think.
there are those. There are sets.
Are there little women toy soldiers?
Yeah. Yeah, I actually have one in here.
He has one. See, probably there's 100 in there.
Oh, I have two.
Oh, there we go. Two.
Are they soldiers or are they nurses?
One is a soldier.
Here you
One
go.
is a
Oh, a nun.
barbarian.
Oh yeah.
And the other one is the nun.
Wow. So we're going
Yes.
to both extremes. These. Okay, the detail is absolutely amazing. I don't know if we can zoom up, but my God, that's amazing.
Okay.
Wow.
Here
Yeah,
you go.
and-
We're zooming in, Sandra.
Wow, look at that. I mean, it's total. Her hair is fiery red. She's got some sort of axe in her hand, and she's right beside a nun. So they talk about ego and alter ego.
Why do you have to be such a barbarian?
I know. Bless me.
Oh, yeah. And then there are others, women snipers from World War II.
Wow.
Russian snipers.
I'm liking this. See?
Oh, yeah.
They're all like Xena warriors.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, Victor, that's just about all the time we have.
Okay.
But I mean, people who are into this are going to be really into it, and
Yeah.
they've been sold since the beginning, and they probably want to get their hands on this one.
And it's both
Do
hands
they need
you
both, or does this one kind of include everything that the first book?
Has everything
Does.
the first book had, plus 600% more.
So now here in 2012, this is the definitive guide to all things Toy Soldier.
Yes.
And what's the best way for people to get their hands on this book if they want to?
Best way is to contact me at the1incharmy@hotmail.com.
Okay, the
One-
1incharmy@hotmail.com.
The 1incharmy.
That's all spelt out. One incharmy@hotmail.com. And do you have a website or something where people can
I'm
order
on
the
Facebook,
book? Okay. And what do they look up on Facebook?
The 1-inch Army 2.
Two as in two lines,
Yes.
right? Okay. Two.
The two Roman,
The two
Roman
Roman- yeah,
numeral 2.
yeah.
The
Yes.
1-inch Army. Okay, Victor. Great to have you on the show today.
And
Sorry
good
we didn't
luck
get
at
a
the show
chance
in
to
London.
actually play with these things and have a massive campaign, but we have all the resources for people who want to follow up and do that.
You
So
and I
thanks
should
for
go to
doing this.
battle. Look, I like this one. You and I kind of could go to battle
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
as we go.
Hey, let's take a little break. We're going to play some more Laura LaRocque, and we're going to come back with Laura and talk about her new CD right after this as Liquid Lunch continues.
Grab one.
You think you know me, you own me, you put me down. You say you love me, you shove me, you mess around. I'm tired of missing or guessing what's coming next. I can't predict it, I trip it, it's a landmine. Ooh, it's a landmine. Well, my cupboard to pieces and see if I'm off the charts. The detonation is taking, ripping me apart. When you exploded, unfolded, I couldn't see what's coming next. I can't distinguish, relinquish. It's a landmine. Ooh, it's a landmine. It's my human nature to stand right in the middle of this. It's my human nature to stand undecided. I'll conquer all you divided. I'm your bombshell, your shelter, look out. I'm helter-skelter on a mission. You listen, not gonna falter. Well, I dare you, prepare you for what's coming next. You're not forgiven, sick of living.
Yeah, I have a website.
In your landmine. It's my human nature to stand undecided. I'll conquer all you divided. What you say, what you say, what you say, what you say, all life is your choices, your living type of reflections of your mind, your life, damn, it's a landmine. It's a
Back to the show. That was another track from Laura LaRock, and we
Nice
got Laura
rhythm.
right here. Laura,
Hi, thank you for having me on.
it's great to have you on the show, and we're just talking about your CD and all about you and where you're from, Newfoundland originally, right?
That's
So,
correct,
but you've been
yes.
in Toronto for a while,
I've
just
been
like
in
the rest of
Toronto
us,
for a
right?
while. Yes, we all gravitate towards here eventually.
Or Fort McMurray.
Fort McMurray, that's true. I have a lot of friends in Fort McMurray.
But you know what? There's a great music scene at the East Coast. You're from St. John's?
Yes, there is. There's a fantastic music scene in the East Coast. There has been for years. It's just getting more predominant. People are noticing it. It's got the East Coast Awards, and
Yeah.
so they're
Definitely
happening.
different.
They're
There's a different
happening.
feel to the music there, though, than there is to the music here.
Well, there's some music. Actually, I think anything goes in Toronto.
Yes.
I mean, you can have kind of East Coast style
Yes.
music.
Yeah.
You can have like everything: hip hop. You can have rock. You can have
and you can have
reggae.
one band who does all of that.
Yes,
Never-
you can.
Because it's like almost like a fusion,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So now, Laura, is this like your first?
This is my first CD.
Okay.
I've been playing basically in the clubs for about 10 years,
As a s-
different cover bands as a singer.
As a singer, okay.
And I've always wanted to do my own material, and I finally did it for a number of reasons, and here it is.
Wow.
I
good
know
for you.
I know one thing. Well, first of all, it's not the. When's the official release? Because
The
it's not
official
yet.
release is June 7th
June, so
at
we're
the
really-
Now Lounge.
Okay.
We're just actually trying to confirm that date. It's actually not completely confirmed yet, but it's
Okay.
supposed to be June 7th.
Okay.
If it does change, it's going to be on the website. I'm also playing on June 9th at the Underground with a gentleman named Andrew Cole, who's a phenomenal singer, and I'm very honored to be opening for him.
I think we've had him on the show.
Yeah, you have, and I'm very excited about opening
Wow,
for him.
good for
He's,
you.
I'm a fan of his. I
Yeah,
call
he-
him my smooth as butter vocalist.
He is a great
He's
singer, eh?
phenomenal.
Yeah.
Very charismatic.
Yeah.
Isn't it exciting to be able to play with people who are idols of
Yes,
yours?
definitely.
Wow, that makes this all worth it, eh?
It does. I'm ecstatic when I found out that I was
Wow.
going to have the opportunity
How'd you
to
get
open
that?
for him. I've been to several of Andrew's shows, and we contact each other through Facebook, and I was in the process of doing this CD over the last year and a half, and we were always updating each other. And I recently went to his final show because he's actually moved to LA.
Okay.
And he's coming back for a number of shows, and he said, "How would you like to open for me?" And I thought, I would
That's
love to open for you.
wonderful. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
It's like winning the
so-
lottery.
well, I know it was hard to contain myself when he asked me. So,
Well,
but
that's,
I'm
and so
pretty
you're going to be
excited.
performing your original music.
Yes, definitely, and it will be acoustic driven this time for the Underground. Actually, this is really more. It's heavy rock, but it's going to be acoustic for the show, for the
Wow.
opener. So.
Now, what does that mean in terms of normally when you play with a band, as the rock band, like what's the instrumentation that you use?
It's a four-piece. It's bass and drums and lead guitar. Sometimes rhythm, depending on how big the place is.
And do you just sing or do you play
I just
anything?
sing. I sing. I play the spoons. That's about it.
Yeah.
Well,
But that's because I'm a Newfoundlander. So
sometimes you need the
I
spoons.
know. You get good beat.
You do the shaky egg?
That's right. I do the eggs. The eggs and the spoons.
Wow. And do you do it at the same time you're singing?
Well, the eggs I can. The spoons are a little more difficult.
It's hard to sometimes do both at
Depends
the
on the
same
size
time.
of the spoons.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
And you've written all this material, or
I
you
have.
co-wrote
I've
it?
been writing for all of my life, I swear to God, since I can remember. And I'm just excited because it's been a long time coming and, wanting to get it out. And I think songwriting, it's very personal. So
Oh, yeah.
at times when you release it, you're sort of like, yeah, what are everybody going to think? Are they
Yeah.
going to judge
'Cause
me?
you're
What are
bearing
they
your
thinking
soul,
of this?
right?
Because most people who know me, when I write about, for the most part, my life experiences. So you're sort of verbally putting it out there, and that makes yourself sort of open
Yes.
to everything. So
Well, I know that before you came on, that Sandra was particularly made note of the name
Yes.
of the record, which is called Law of Attraction.
yes,
And do you want to talk a little bit about how you
You know what?
came
I mean,
to...
you hear so many people writing books on law of attraction, but I've never seen a CD
yeah.
with the title
Well, there
Law
you
of
go.
Attraction.
Yeah, what was it? What made you choose that title?
Well, there was actually a number of factors that were going on at the time in my life. We all have different journeys to take. And I'd had a lot of things happen, and I thought, wow, I got to start thinking more positive because just everything seems to be going the wrong way. And at the time, I read the book, The Secret, a little bit of it. I hadn't read the whole thing. I actually was an internet video, viral video that I saw that
Okay.
sort of drew me towards the book.
Okay.
And I started reading, and basically what I got out of it was like the point of power. This is my favorite saying. The point of power is the present view. Whatever you're willing to conceive and believe is what will come to you. And it's a very hard sort of thought to create and keep doing that because everybody has negativity in their life. So that's what sort of the law of attraction appeals to. It's like positive thinking everything's going to go right. And that's how that sort of led to that CD. And it was really weird because the more I sort of applied myself to that sort of law of attraction idea, things were just falling into place. It was
That's amazing.
it was very interesting.
Is there a particular example that...
Yeah, well, I actually had been working with a friend of mine, another drummer, and I had gone to a studio to do some soundtracks just for another band thing. And the person said to me, well, I have a friend of mine that, is a really good producer, and if you ever want to use him, do you have any original music? I said, yes, I have original music. And so he named him, and then 2 days later, I was at a club, and a friend of mine called me, goes, come to this club. And the same person that was the producer was there, which
Wow.
turned out to be Brian, my producer who produced this CD. And
So
it
that's
sort of went
synchronicity.
on and on from there, right to the video, everything, where I met
By the
Doug
way, did
Cook
we-
in Calgary.
Did
It
we get the
all-
video lined up?
I
we,
hope
We
so.
want to watch that. Did we
Yeah.
get that lined up, guys?
Yeah.
Let's...
Yeah.
We'll try to line that up. What should we look up?
It's Light My Fuse. It's on YouTube.
Light My Fuse on
Yeah,
YouTube.
El Rocks.
Because we'll go out,
So
we'll
you
go
th-
out with that at the end of the interview.
Wow,
but,
that's amazing.
Yeah,
so it's
the whole
synchronistic.
thing sort of lined up by itself and without even trying to a certain degree. And just have a lot of people that believe in me, that liked what I was doing, including Brian and Doug Cook, who hails from out west. Incredible videographer and producer for videos, for music videos. And we went from there, and that's how it happened.
So then you put your first video out there,
I did.
and that must have been an interesting experience
It
for
was
you.
a lot of fun. I mean,
This is the video we're going to see later?
yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was really sick. I hadn't been sick in a long time with a cold. And the day that I flew out to Calgary, I came down with a high temperature. So myself and Doug did the video. It's in an old warehouse that's actually open, and it was towards Halloween. It was cold, and they had fans blowing on me, and
Which is
I
perfect
lost
for your
my
cold.
voice
Oh my
completely,
goodness.
but I'm still singing. Like, you would never know. Everybody looks at it and says, "Oh, you don't look like you're sick." I was so sick, but I still embraced it, and I had a lot of fun. And Doug made it really easy to work with the video. And
So how
it's
many
a great
days did it
experience.
take?
2.
2 days. Oh, that's not bad.
To make the
is it?
video.
Yeah, that's
To
still
make
not
the
bad. I
video.
mean, I know the video's,
Yeah.
what,
Yeah.
3.5 minutes long?
We both knew what we wanted.
Okay.
And that's the funny thing about when you say, we were talking about law attraction earlier, when we started coming up with ideals, we were batting them back and forth in emails, and he actually had the same concept that I had.
Wow.
And we sort of just brought it together and made the video what it was, which was basically two people that are really one positive and one negative on a journey of trying to find, you know, the love of music. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, because 2 days is actually not a long time.
No, he's
Right.
really good at what he does. He knows what he wants and he just goes for
Wow,
it.
that's
And I've never acted before, but I had a lot of fun, and I thought, gee, I'd like to get into this.
You
'Cause
know
it
what?
was that much
Maybe I
fun.
was thinking when you said you were sick, I was thinking, well, geez, how is that synchronistic? How is that the law of attraction? But then when you said you've never acted, then it just
Yeah.
came to maybe you were sick so that you would get outside of yourself and
That's
not be
right.
focused on the acting because you were focused on your cold,
Exactly.
right? So then you could just
Yeah.
do your thing. Just
Yeah.
let me get through this kind of thing, right?
But I mean, I was a great experience.
Wow.
As sick as I was, I really felt it and had a great time, and it was absolutely amazing.
So is the final version, that video, is the final version what you expected? Because a lot of times you go in and you have no idea and it's completely different than what you expected.
There was some stuff that we did that never worked out, but that's what happens in video. You shoot a lot of stuff and then it never comes to light. But for the most part, it's exactly what I wanted.
Excellent.
And we had talked about it just before I got back on the plane. We met up and we knew all about the shots, and there was one particular thing that I really wanted to be at the end, and I was really happy with it. It portrayed exactly what I was looking for. So
It's amazing because you get to have that for life too. You're
Yeah.
going to get to look at this
Yeah.
10 years from now and say, oh
It's a
my
good
God, I
feeling.
can't believe
I know.
I can't believe I had my hair like that. It's like
Yeah.
looking at high school pictures, you know.
Is
Oh,
that
yeah.
experience talking, Sandra?
Well, you know what? It's funny. I think that's why I haven't changed my hair since 10.
No, we know the real reason you haven't changed your hair. Well, let's not get into that right now.
Okay, that's true. Okay. Okay.
So now, Laura, so, you know, like in the old days, you'd made a video and you'd get it played on Much Music, and that was a great way to promote the music.
Yes.
And promote CD sales and stuff like
Yes.
that. I don't know, does Much Music even play videos anymore?
They do. I'm at, you know, right now I'm just a new artist coming up
Yeah.
and starting out, so I'm just getting my feet wet everywhere. I have my own website. My video is on YouTube. I am checking into Much Music. There's so many technicalities, there's so many things that you have to do to get to there. And as you know, and you actually mentioned it earlier to a certain degree, the music industry has changed a lot.
Yeah.
And it can be for you or against you depending on how you decide to market yourself. And I mean, Twitter, Facebook, all of this has come up, and it's basically, I mean, you have an opportunity to market yourself without even using Much Music. But I'm trying to get on Much Music right now. They have a big format and different things that have to be done, so I'm looking into those to see what happens.
It's almost like these days, what is a hit is what makes it huge on YouTube. Like if you got a YouTube video that's got 1 million hits,
Yeah.
then you've got a big hit on your hands.
And
Exactly.
then
But
they
you're not
come to
making any
you,
money
right?
necessarily,
No, you
right?
don't make any money. And actually, I think, from what I understand, they're trying to change the laws of that right now. Through
Really?
SOCAN video and all of that, so that there's something coming through
But
that.
if you have 1 million hits, you also will get the record labels and the Much Music coming to you too.
Interested in
Isn't
you.
that what Justin Bieber? Is that how that happened with him?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just
Yes.
don't. I don't get it. How it's tough to me. Like the whole music industry. I think it's still in flux. I
Yeah.
think that it's easier now for artists to connect directly to their fans. But it's almost like you don't need record companies anymore. But still,
I
are
think
gonna
you need the record companies, but it's getting to them that's the hardest part.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's changed to the point where there's 1,000 bands all on the internet, and which one is that record company going to look at?
And how do they make
You
the
just
decision?
You know
There's-
what? I think it's a networking marketing thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you just have to put yourself out there and be smart and just constantly be. I mean, I could spend days on Twitter and Facebook and sending my stuff out, which I've done sometimes, trying to connect with the right people. Sometimes it's just
But then
believably a hit and a miss.
But isn't that going against the law of attraction?
No, not to that, because I really believe at some point something will happen
Okay.
that it'll come forward to that. You got to try. I mean, it's positivity and putting yourself out there and sort of thinking that this is where you want it to go and staying positive about it. I mean, I think that goes without saying for anything. you want a job, you want a certain thing, you think positively about it, and it sort of comes to you.
And
So-
it's been working for you so far.
so far it has.
So like, there's nothing
Yeah.
to think it wouldn't be working for you the next step.
That's exactly it.
So what is the next step? The album's coming out in June, and even
The
though
album's out actually. The CD release is June 7th, and
Right,
then I'm
okay.
opening for Andrew on June 9th. Next
But-
step from there, hopefully, we'll see what
Much
happens.
music.
are
Yeah,
there any
much
plans?
music.
No, do you have a band that you play with on a regular
I play
basis?
with different bands, different musicians.
Okay.
Um,
And how did that impact the recording process itself? Like, how did you decide who you're going to have playing on the?
Well, actually,
CD.
on the recordings, I have I have a person that's a multi-instrument. It was Brian Gagnon, my producer, who plays drums, guitar, mandolin.
Wow.
He plays everything, and he actually played all the instruments.
Drums
on
too?
this.
Wow.
Yes, he did.
It's a good thing he doesn't sing.
He does sing.
Oh. Well, it's a good thing he's not a female singer. Can't, stumped you there.
He does sing, but I do use a full band, and basically these days, it's really hard to have one band committed to you because the music industry has changed so
Yeah. Yeah.
much, so drastically that no one's playing or committed to one thing, and you just have to sort of
Do
find
your
the
own
people
thing.
that are willing to be there and ready for you whenever a show comes up, which is okay.
And you still do the cover band stuff too?
I know at this point I'm totally focusing on my
Good for
career
you.
as a solo artist and as an artist singing original music and no top 40 at all.
But you must have a long list of musicians that you've worked with that you can always call on to perform.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Nice.
So we've got the two performances coming up in Toronto. Any plans for anything outside the city or across the country?
There's something, I'm looking at a couple things I don't want to say yet because, but there's something coming up out east as well, and I'm looking at something out west later in the year, so we'll see what happens. But if you follow me on my website, www.lrockmusic.com, and it also links, if you go to the social networking page, it links all of it like to Twitter, Facebook. They're always updated so you can see what's going on and know where I'm at and what I'm doing.
So they can just go to the website.
They know before I do sometimes. So
Now, can
that
people
fast.
Scary.
can
That's
people
scary.
can people buy the CD
you
as
can,
well on
you
your
can-
site?
Yes, you can buy it on my website. You can buy it at CD Baby as well, and you can also buy it on my Facebook, which directly takes you to a link to CD Baby.
Okay.
So
Okay, so people, what do they look up on Facebook?
if they
wanna
go,
find
well,
you
they
there?
go to just look up Laura LaRock. It comes up. But if you go to, what I do is send people to my website because the Facebook link is there. As soon as they click on the Facebook link, it'll take you right
Okay.
to
Perfect.
Facebook, right to Reverb Nation, right to Twitter.
To everything from
Yeah.
your
And
website,
LaRock is
lrockmusic.com.
everything.
LaRock is L apostrophe.
Yes. There's a variation. It depends on how
Okay.
people want to, I mean, it's been Laura Rock, L Rock, Laura LaRock from The Rock. So it's, it's,
Oh yeah, because you're from the Rock.
yeah. So
I still think
it's whatever
Laura
anybody
Rocks.
wants it to be.
Yeah. Well, this is great. Now we're gonna watch the video
Right.
now, and we're gonna see all the fun you had, even though you were sick in a warehouse
See if you
somewhere
can
in
pick out
Calgary.
whether or not she was sick.
Right? And I just
About
want
to sneeze or something.
But I just want to say thanks for coming in and bringing us the CD. The
Thank you for
release
having me.
sounds like a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to
good
that.
luck.
And
Great,
please
thanks.
come back with your next CD.
I will.
And,
And have
it's-
fun. Have fun at those events. They're going to sound
will.
awesome.
Yeah. So this is the single,
Congratulations.
right? The first single, which is
This
called again
Light My Fuse.
"Light My Fuse." So
And I'm already in the process of working on the second CD.
Wow.
fabulous.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, Laura.
You're busy.
I'm busy.
LaRock, however you want to say it, from the Law of Attraction.
Either
Here's "Light My
way.
Fuse," and we're going to come back with Nick Beat as we continue here on Liquid Lunch.
Stop putting out my fire. I'll only light it again. blame. Overloaded insecurities. It's got to be your only excuse. I got something to offer. I ain't gonna let you lose me. Light my fuse, get out of the way. I want your gasoline, not your water. Light my fuse, you force me to choose. Well, things are only gonna get hotter. Spontaneous combustion. It's about to explode. Flashpoint high intensity. Don't you know I love my rock and roll? Can't you see that I live for this? You know I sleep it, I breathe it. I won't let you suffocate. Now come on, baby, ignite it. Light my fuse, get out of the way. I want your gasoline, not your water. Light my fuse, you force me to choose. Well, things are only gonna get hotter. Light my fuse, I'm taking off this noose. Give me the damn starter. Light my fuse, I'm enjoying the news, honey. Don't make this any harder. Give me something, give me some oxygen. You know to breathe. Music is intoxicating, spreading like wildfire. The want of prevention. You can distinguish what is naturally meant to burn.
And welcome back to Liquid Lunch, and we are privileged to have the one and only Nick Beat here on the show. Nick, great to have you back on the show. What's going on, buddy?
It's good to it's good to be back. Actually, I like the way the green behind you is.
There's no green. It's
There's
just
no
the
green?
cityscape.
Oh, it's a
just
cityscape.
cityscape. I don't know what
Oh.
you're talking about.
It's the shades we had when we came in.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
That's good, Sandra. I like that. It's
Nick-
good to be back.
Well, it's great to have you here, and I know you've been in the Toronto scene. I think I first heard of you back in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah.
And you were you're a poet, right?
That's right.
And I know you do other stuff. I know you got a radio show on CIUT, and you do music and stuff like that. But Nick, I don't know. Well, like, where do you come from?
To be honest with you, I come from the same place you came from, which is heaven.
I know
Okay, that's deep.
it's
That's
so
very deep.
but I know, because aren't you an atheist, Nick?
Huh?
Yeah, I'm just asking, because I think we got into that a little bit.
Yes, we did. We
And,
got into
Are
that.
you an
You don't have to
atheist?
admit it.
Maybe he's changed.
No, I believe in God, despite the fact that He exits the room every time I come into it.
It's
He's
just
never
like a-
there when I'm there. So
It's just like the light bulb in the refrigerator. It goes off every time you close
yeah,
the
but
door.
you can almost see it.
Almost.
See it go
Exactly.
on. So I
I'm
guess
so
God's a little
confused
bit
right
like
now. I feel like I'm entering into a conversation that started like 10 years ago. Maybe you're just continuing it, and I'm kind of just entering into this.
I'm sorry, Sandra.
It's because you guys are not from here. You're from wherever you're from.
You're from
Heaven.
the same place.
I know.
You're from heaven too.
I am?
You are, of
Yeah.
course.
Okay, now I feel part
It's
of
a
the
small
family.
town in northern Ontario.
That's right.
Okay, Nick. So you got the book, right? Tyranny of Love?
Tyranny of Love. It's a relaunch of the book tomorrow night
Okay.
at Origo Bookstore, which is 49 Laura Jarvis, just south of St. Lawrence
A
Market.
fabulous bookstore.
It
And they
is
have
a
great
great
events
bookstore.
there too, and I guess you're going to be one of them tomorrow
I'm
night.
going to be one of them.
Love the title though, Tyranny of Love. Isn't that a bit of an oxymoron? Tyranny and love?
Not to me, it's not. No, I know what you're saying, but to me, tears
Oh.
that you cry over love and the whole idea of romantic love. It's a very anti-romance collection of poetry.
Okay,
It's
so
not, there's
No.
a lot of hatred in that book. There's
Why?
A lot of,
There-
Why are you
there-
so
there-
filled with
that's-
hatred?
that's
because
the
I've been hurt
paradox
so
then.
badly. That's
Okay,
why
so then
you.
that's the paradox
was
again.
so
The
hurt.
tyranny and the love. That's like it's the pain of love.
That's it. It's the pain of love. Sandra, you got
Okay.
it. So,
okay.
we all bear the marks of the last relationship.
This sounds like a therapy book from me, or to me, not for me. Oops. No, I meant to me. Oops.
Okay. Now, Nick, when do you want to do the song? I know you're going to do one song, just one?
I'm gonna try to. I mean, it depends how much time we have. I'll do an abridged version of this. This is a very long piece,
Okay.
so I'll do a short
Are
version.
you performing
for TV.
this at the? Will you be
Yes, I
performing this
will
song
be,
at the?
Sandra. Yeah, it's called. I've done it before. This was called "God is a Romantic Scientist," and
I love this tune.
It's a love letter to
God
the
is
Almighty.
Our what? God is our what?
A romantic scientist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Interesting. Comes from an interesting.
it's very interesting. Listen, Sandra, and you will understand.
This is my therapy part 1.
This is the therapy session. God is a romantic scientist, trapped under amazing secrets, buried in his own botched failures of one and every dream. And it's the anniversary of the invisible mistake, his own, of course, and by inference, ours. It's an experiment which never ends. Oh, this hulking humanity. Oh, this vast shipwreck. And I, the child machine of his captivity, was tooled into existence by a teary-eyed technician in a white lab coat. And I, the teary-eyed person of love, am now rejected, forlorn, overwrought with pain, made to walk this earth again. God is a romantic scientist, and I'm just another experiment that failed. Ta-da. There we go.
Cry.
How uplifting, Nick.
But that was amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Depressing.
But it's good.
Yes,
I
it
like
is
that.
amazingly depressing. What was amazingly depressing? Writing it and
No, I
Doing
feel
it
your
and-
pain, man. I feel your pain.
this is turning into a Dr. Phil show a little
Is it
bit.
working for you?
Pardon me?
Is it working for you? That's what he
I-
says. He's famous for saying, "Is it working for you?"
That's true, you're right. Yeah, it does actually. Doing this is cathartic on some basic levels. Hugh and I were talking about that the last time I was here.
It's actually very beautiful. It is actually very, very beautiful. And a very cool concept, the lab coat, the white lab coat. That is the visual.
Yes. Yes.
So, Nick, you're a poet, and this book of poetry is coming out, and yet you're
Yep.
here and you're actually singing, performing in a musical form your poetry. And I'm wondering, because I think about some of the other great poets of today,
Yeah.
Leonard Cohen.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Exactly.
I don't know who else you want to put in that category, but they've crossed the line from just being a person of spoken word artist to a musical artist. And do you have any thoughts about that? Like, you're doing it, and I don't see why you wouldn't do that. It makes sense to me.
It doesn't make sense. I mean, the reason Leonard Cohen did it is because Judy Collins said, you're not going to make any money with this poetry jazz. Write a song. And the poem she loved, I believe, was Suzanne, and he covered it as his own song, really. He made it into a song, and of course it became a hit with her.
But it was a poem first.
It was, as far as I know, it was originally. I look okay.
You look
My
great,
hair's
Nick.
a bit of a mess on one side, but that's okay.
Wait till you see this in 20 years. You're not going to believe how good you looked today.
Oh, thanks. Well, that's a recommendation for
You're gonna
a
need. You're
wheelchair.
gonna write a whole new poetry book on a whole nother kind of therapy. Thanks, Hugh.
Yes,
I'm just
you
trying to
are,
help. Just trying to help.
Anyway, as we were saying about Leonard Cohen, he was advised to write songs because poetry doesn't sell. This book, The Tyranny of Love, it didn't sell. Why? Because it's a collection of poetry.
But it's
And
going to start
poetry books
selling.
don't sell.
It's going to start selling again tomorrow.
Well, I've been having a series of launches ever since it first came out. And
Yeah.
this is a relaunch. I own the rights to the book now, and also I bought what remaining copies were left.
So it's sold
Yeah.
out.
It's sold out.
It's a
yeah,
bestseller.
up
That's
to
what
a
Brian
point.
Epstein did with the Beatles' first release. And look what happened to them, Nick. You're about to
But wait
blow
a
up
second.
here.
You just said it didn't sell, and now you're saying it's sold out.
Yeah, it did actually. I mean, he was
Okay,
just being
okay.
very kind to me.
Okay. Okay.
No, poetry books don't sell. They
so
don't.
why do you think that is? You think poetry's dead?
People want to watch sports events and mud wrestling. They don't want to, and wet bikini
Okay,
contests.
so there's a very simple solution. The WWF, have them write poetry as they're beating each other up. Have them talk.
That's not a bad idea. Or we could have a wet bikini contest poetry
There you go.
show or something.
That
Well,
will work.
Nick, you've already done that. Haven't you already
That's
done
true,
that?
I haven't.
A wet bikini contest?
I'm so
Nick?
desperate, that's what I alluded. Yeah, I know. How do you know these
Color
things?
was your bikini.
Because I follow your career.
That's true.
Okay, wait a second. What color was your bikini?
Can I keep that
Look,
black?
he's just orchestrating it all. Like a puppet master.
It was black center.
Okay.
Black, just like the coat.
Of course, of
the
course. Were you still
demeanor.
wearing all of that?
All of.
That
you mean
looks like
this
that.
stuff?
Yeah, you could be arrested just to carry that around.
Oh, you're right. I mean, I just want to be protected. That's all.
Okay.
That's why you've got the crucifix bottle opener.
That's right.
Why do you think God leaves when you come in the room?
The
Crucifix.
irreverence of this show is amazing to me.
Well, you're the poet. You're the one that's supposed to be irreverent. Now, Nick,
Yeah, well, that's another reason why the book doesn't sell, because people don't want to hear that. They want to hear, they want to hear nice things because they lived on a day-to-day basis in pain and they want to escape from it. Poetry is not an escape.
No, it's
But
not
why are you-
actually. It's not.
Nick,
That's right.
what prompted you to go in this direction? Because this is your life's work, right?
Yeah.
Despite all this, despite the fact that chances are you're not going to make a lot of money as a poet or even as a songwriter, what compels you really to continue to pursue this artistic direction?
It's a way to meet women, really.
That's deep.
That sounds honest.
It's very
Nick.
honest. Do you know what Leonard Cohen said? He said poetry readings are just an excuse for people to make out. That's what he said.
Okay, and have you found that to be true in your career?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, I have. I'm a very shy person, so you look for any way to meet other people. We all do. We do different things, whether it's my radio show or doing this today, to meet people. And that, if you're shy, it's a great way to do it,
Yeah.
actually. It has been for me.
Yeah. But also, there you are. You're it's always a high to be performing, right?
Sure.
And to be getting your art out, to just be having a say of something, to be expressing yourself, and that's what you're doing.
And we
Right.
were actually, do you find it hard to write this stuff? Because as Laura was saying earlier, it's really revealing a lot about yourself. So you're really putting yourself out there. So you're, I guess, exposing your vulnerability. Do you feel that is the case for you?
With poetry especially. With Laura LaRocque, she's got the song and the singing to almost put her out there for a bit.
Okay.
But when you're doing poetry, you are,
This is it.
yeah, and you got really nothing to hide behind, although I'm hiding behind a guitar right now, but
So do you often just do this without the guitar then?
yeah,
You
I
just
can
read the
do
poetry
a piece right now for you if you like.
without any music.
Yeah, without anything. It's called Drinking Stars. It's
Okay.
in the book,
Okay.
Tyranny of Love. And I'll be performing it tomorrow night at Origo Bookstore, and please come. It's free admission. I'll do it for you, Sandra.
Okay,
It's
thank
called
you.
Drinking Stars. It's about being very lonely, late at night, hungry for something.
Okay.
Thirsty tonight, I ventured forth without coat or hat or wraps or a map, and I spied the stars and drank them greedily one by one, till the cool night air was no longer filled with their cool taste arrogant, or foamy breath sparkling, or mythic forms of fate. And I was full of stars, and blackness wore me best. That's it.
Wow. Wow.
That's poetry. In its absolute purest form.
Okay, so this is not stuff you veg out on.
This is not stuff. Say again, Sarah?
You veg out on.
No.
That's exactly why poetry is not so big now, because people are so busy, they're working, they're tired, they just want to veg out. So they want to watch a mindless survival show.
Yeah,
Well-
I mean, if you could combine the two somehow, it would be great. But I don't know how you do that. The closest in real life to entertainment poetry are slams. That's the closest, where it's a competition. So the dramatic element is already way up there, and it's entertaining to watch people lose, to watch them win, to be humiliated, whatever.
But
It's
then
sort
that
of
really takes away the whole mission of what poetry really
well,
is.
that's been
though,
my
isn't it?
argument against it. But to be honest,
Yeah.
I was asked to be a judge at one of them, and I got converted. Dave
Wow.
Silverberg had one of these things, and I was converted to it. These young kids are coming out. They're not coming out to see middle-aged guys like me. They're coming out for themselves. And it's fantastic to see it.
Do you ever do that? Do you ever do a poetry slam yourself? And
No, I judged at one,
yeah,
but no, I don't have I'm too old for that. It's for young people. It really, really
Wow.
is.
Wow.
well,
Poetry slam.
not everybody is just one of those people that just want to chill out. I'm sure there are some people that want to really,
Get
they
deep.
want to have
Get-
ink
get
running from the
deep.
corners of their mouths, Nick. They want to eat some poetry, you know what I'm saying?
They want to drink
You
the
know
stars.
what? You're a poet. Yes, that too, Sarah. Hugh, you're right.
You know what? I think there's truth to that, because I think more and more people are watching less and less TV. I think there is a switch. I think there are people who are saying, you know what, I'm tired of being a robot. I'm tired of being numb. I want something that stimulates my
Hopefully.
senses.
Real.
Something real
Yeah. Well,
and
Nick,
creative.
I guess tomorrow night people are going to get a chance to come out, see you perform.
I'm performing with bass player Michael Ratt, and also opening for me will be Laura LaRocque doing one song with moi. And then we're going to do, Pat Kelly's going to be playing. Tim Maxwell. Should be a wonderful night. It's hosted by poet Brandon Pitts. Free admission.
At the
Wow.
Origo Bookstore.
Which
Origo
is-
Bookstore.
And also, you forgot to mention a great opportunity for people
I?
to get together and make out.
Absolutely.
right.
There you
There
go.
will be
You
making
meet
out.
people. You may have sex later on. Who knows?
And where is Origo? What's the address?
Origo is 49
sorry.
Lower Jarvis,
Just south of Esplanade.
just south of St. Lawrence Market. Right.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's awesome. Great
Yep.
place. And people can get the book here. And
Please.
Nick, great to have you on. Thank you for doing
Thank
this
you
today. Best of
very
luck.
much.
Thank
Thanks, Sandra.
you.
Thanks, you.
Thank you
And-
so much. That was lovely.
Yes. Now we're going to play another Laura LaRocque track right now. And we're going to come back with our final guest of the day, Michel Emond, is here. And we'll be right back.
We're suing the World Bank.
That was great, guys. Thank you. That was great.
Anytime, Nick, you know.
Can I unplug?
Couple of times I wanted to call you, but your wrecking ball has got you moody, and it smashes right on through me this time.
All right, are we back on the show? We're back on the show!
Yes.
Okay, Sandra, we're hitting this home stretch here. This is the exciting part of the show where we get to
The
find
whole
out.
show was exciting now.
I know! I forgot! The whole show was exciting.
See what happens when you get with some musicians? Because you are such a musician at heart. Look what happens.
What do you mean? Nick was a poet.
Yes, but a poet with you know what? Even though he didn't have a lot of music, I felt a musical rhyme within him.
Of course. Well, that's why he...
That's true poetry.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about a different kind of poetry now because Michel Emond is here. And Michel, we are talking about the World Bank today, right?
Yes, sir.
Michelle's singing to a whole nother tune.
Facts.
Yeah, facts. Okay. Where do we start?
Well, we'll definitely start with my logo.
Okay, we're going to show the first graphic here. And Michelle, we're just going to make sure everybody understands this here. And we're going to say that what you're doing is you are suing the World Bank,
Exactly.
right?
And I have a letter to prove this.
Right. Okay, so this is your logo here now, 30th Century Solutions.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Well, like I mentioned on our last show, there's only one way to stop wars and poverty, and that is to put the World Bank out of business, including the bondholders. And today I'm going to explain why no one has challenged the World Bank at the International Court, at the International Criminal Court.
Before you get to that, can I ask you why?
Yes.
Why is suing the World Bank, why is putting them out of business going to solve all these problems?
I'm coming to that at
Okay.
about 10 minutes from now.
Okay, great.
Okay.
First I have to show my facts and then...
All right.
Now, I'm about to do something that everybody wants to do, but they do not want to do it.
So you're saying a lot of people really would like to sue the World Bank, but for whatever reason, they're just not doing it.
Exactly. So what I have to do is I have to subpoena many organizations, and I'm entitled to do so.
Okay.
So we'll definitely go with the letter, James.
So this is the letter from the World Bank that was sent to you,
Yes,
right?
correct. The letter clearly says that the decision to proceed will be considered if new facts and evidence provide a reasonable basis to believe that a crime within the jurisdiction of the court has been committed. So the letter clearly says that.
So
Okay.
you sent them something, and they said, Michelle, it's not gonna. We're not interested unless you have further information.
Well,
And this is what this letter says.
exactly,
Okay.
that's exactly what it says. And the letter speaks for itself.
Okay.
And people can blow it up and read it for themselves.
Yes.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And we're definitely going to proceed with the next document, the 142 organizations.
Okay, so what is this document exactly, Michelle? 142 organizations. Just tell us about these. Now, what does this letter say exactly?
Well, basically, this has to do with the Forest Carbon Fund project, and this represents my court case. There are 142 organizations that says the World Bank is unfit to manage this fund, first of all. They argue that the funds would conflict with other funds. And the reason they're saying this is very important now is that the group who put up the money keeps the credits. This would include surveys of current forest assets, including lumber and minerals. Now, there's been a lot of this has been going on for a little while now.
So-
There's been people who wrote books on this, but the thing is they never finished the job.
So basically, these 142 organizations, if I understand this correctly, they're basically saying the World Bank has this World Carbon Forest Fund project, and it's smoke and mirrors.
Well, I'm going to explain that right
Okay.
now.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay,
okay.
great.
Okay. Also, the 142 organizations also claims that the World Bank continues to finance environmentally destructive projects
Okay.
and policies, and that they are unaccountable.
Okay. So that's
Now-
smoke and mirrors. Basically,
now-
that's what that is.
If one death occurred because of this, I
Okay.
have a case.
Okay.
So as of today, it's very important for me to subpoena the World Bank and the president and its directors to appear at the International Criminal Court,
Okay.
including the 142 organizations I just mentioned.
Okay.
We're definitely going to go with the next document, the pre-trial documents. And we need to carefully have a look at this because this
Okay.
is going to explain what I'm about
Okay.
to do.
Okay.
So people don't get this now, but can you just explain it for
Okay.
everyone?
We have, we'll be entering pre-trial at the moment.
Okay.
Now, there's 5 judges who are in charge of that. We have 1 judge from Germany, 1 from Botswana, 1 from Brazil, Italy, and Bulgaria.
Okay.
These 5 judges will determine my statement of claim. It's what it's called.
Okay.
Now, even if they disagree with what I say, it doesn't really matter because I'm going to appeal their decision. We have 5 judges that I'm going to describe who they are right now. And I do like my chances here at the appeals, by the way.
Okay.
And the judge from who are in charge of this is one from Uganda,
Okay.
one from South Korea, the other one from Latvia, and the other 2 are from Finland and Ghana.
Okay. Okay.
Now, this is very important because this will take me to my trial.
Okay.
And no matter what happens, I'm guaranteed at least one day, no matter what happens.
One day in court.
100% one day.
Okay. Okay.
So, do you have a question by any chance?
Yeah, I want to ask, so when you say your subpoena, you're going to send a subpoena, it's the 142 organizations, or some of those organizations you're subpoenaing?
Thank you very much for asking. This will be also including the 142 organizations that signed the petition, and also the World Bank directors and shareholders.
Okay.
Now, also, I have to include the bondholders and the investors and the market because I'm going to explain that right now.
So you're including all facets of this whole machine.
I'm about to
Okay.
explain why right now. So on June 1st, I will send my statement of claim to the International Criminal Court, the 18 judges there, to notify the court that I will be demonstrating this on my Ustream channel in Vancouver on June 21st because that's where I have to demonstrate the letter that I'm going to send to the courts because I'm looking for death records. Now, usually what happens first, and if they wish to remain anonymous, they can email me from an internet cafe.
Okay.
So, just so they know. Now, for the last 40 years or so, the World Bank profited $200 billion on interest, principal, and penalties. And this is how they get the money to do what they want, and like the Forest Carbon Fund project and other projects that they do in particular. Now, so on October 11th, a very good friend of mine, emailed all the directors of the World Bank. On October 11, 2011, they have been properly notified. And now that the 142 organizations have been notified, and by email too, class members have all been properly notified, and I will charge the World Bank for conspiracy against peace. Document 16 sub A in the ICC Charter, Chapter 15 Part C, refers to crimes against peace, and I will prove that the World Bank is and its shareholders are behind wars and poverty. And any lawsuit that comes my way is invalid until the 18 judges have come to a final conclusion about the Forest Carbon Fund project.
So you mean, when you say lawsuit, you mean if they want to sue you for any reason, to try and deter you, to trying to get you off track?
That's right.
Okay.
That will be invalid until the courts have determined the last.
Okay.
Until they say so.
Okay.
So now I am the representative for this case, and I'm going to answer that question you asked a minute ago. Because I've been looking around, and nobody wants to take the job. But there are many organizations that say this and that about the World Bank, and I've approached them. But I went to speak at 2 universities in Toronto, and there were 3 speakers that were supposed to be there, but they decided not to appear because they didn't want to be involved.
Politics, right?
Well, they had a claim against the World Bank too. So basically, I'm going to do their dirty laundry is basically what I'm about to do now.
So what you're saying is there's a lot of organizations, people that would like to take the World Bank to court, but you're standing up and you're going to take the job.
That's exactly what I just said.
Because it's not like you're, it's a tough job.
No, not really. First of all, I am looking for death records resulting from the Forest Carbon Fund project, and there are many. Believe me, I will get many of them.
How do you know that, Michel? How do you, I'm not questioning, but how would you know that?
I'm about to answer that right now. There are many people like that wrote books about this. I'll give you an example.
I see.
Because the first thing that usually happens first is the bondholders, the investors, they usually move in. And they build hotel resorts and stuff like that. And then they leave, and then they pretend they try to create jobs. And then meanwhile, they're the ones who actually started this global recession.
Okay.
And then when the country borrows from the World Bank, they also lose the water and the hydro revenues, which is in the hundreds of billions of dollars. That's because they can't keep up with the interest on the debt. Simple as that.
Okay.
So the World Bank lends to countries, and as collateral or
Payment.
protection against loss, they take the rights to collect these revenues or take over certain assets in the country?
Especially minerals, the water rights, and
Now,
hydro.
now, when a country is at the state where they actually go to a World Bank, they're pretty desperate. Correct? Is that right?
Well, there's about, I'd say, a third of the countries are under World Bank.
So they have no choice, because basically, if you say you're going to feed me, I'll give you whatever you want. So they're held prisoner.
And everybody who's been to the International Criminal Court knows what you just said.
Okay.
So basically, so far so good. My court case still holds, and
So this is not a fair system.
well, either way, we're going to get to the last document right
Okay.
now,
Okay.
and which basically proves everything about that I just said. And this is a very important document coming up.
Okay.
Okay, so what is this document here?
Now,
Sure.
this is the Poznan Declaration. This is the declaration that 142 organizations sign
Yeah.
to let the whole world know about what's going on. But the thing is this.
It's like the world versus the bank, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So, since for the last 2 years they've been talking about this, and nothing's changed. You know, things are still going on, and so what they did is three things in particular. They claim that the World Bank is a major climate polluter. They said that the World Bank is a major deforester, supports industrialized logging and violating the rights of indigenous people all over the world. And the Chad and Cameroon pipeline has destroyed many, many human lives. So right off the bat, I will find my death
Okay,
records
got
here.
it. Okay.
And this is where they signed that declaration.
Okay.
And this here, well, I won't have a problem getting proof about what I just said.
So the problem is getting the information.
Well, I have to subpoena them,
Yeah.
and when they appear in court, they can't lie. So if I subpoena you to appear,
Yep.
and they say their story, and I ask them the questions, the first thing they can do is lie. And there are many, many. The death documents will prove exactly what they've been trying to do for the last 2 years, and they basically didn't think I would go this far.
Yes. Because
You know?
nobody has to this point.
And do you have any particular questions at the moment? Because
I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Do you have a couple of names of some of those 142 organizations, just to give us an idea as to who those they
the
are?
142 organizations are listed on that list over there, and I know I don't have a lot of time to finish what I
Are they
have to do.
environmental organizations, oh, Michelle? Like, what? Who
Well,
are
they're
these?
all on that list, the
Okay.
Poznan Declaration.
Can we get a copy? Can people see that document?
All they have to do is put Google Poznan Declaration.
So it's not on your website yet.
Everybody's on that list.
Okay.
Because I have a few things to say, and I know
Okay.
I have a few
Sure,
Okay.
we got
things to
about
go.
10 minutes
Okay.
at the most, Michelle.
Okay, so that's good. So in that case, do you have something in particular you want to ask me?
No.
I'm okay.
Besides, okay, ask
Just
it.
let us know. We want to
Because-
hear it.
Okay, that's good. Now, for the last, I didn't start this yesterday, first of all. It took me 2 years to get this letter,
Okay.
the first one. And so I didn't think I would go this far to begin with. And now that there's only a few little things to do, all I have to do is subpoena the World Bank and the 142 organizations. And now that that's done, there's only one thing left, and that's to notify the courts. And on June 9th, I'm going to do that on June 9th, and everything is notified and properly done. Because if I don't follow the rules, they can just throw my case out of court.
Okay.
So now that that has been done,
Is there a reason it's June 9th?
yes, there's a reason.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I didn't come this far to lose this case.
No, no.
So I had to decide a couple of years ago how to proceed very carefully, and I proceeded very carefully, and I'm going to explain on June 21st the letter that I'm going to send to courts, so that everything is, the only thing left is a court date starting the day after June 9th.
Okay, okay.
So I predict a court date around August, September of this year.
Do you think it'll be that quick?
Oh yeah, of course, it will be that quick.
Okay.
Because first of all, the first question I'm going to ask the World Bank lawyers in the courtroom is I want to see the transfer papers where they got the funds, the money for the funds for the Forest Carbon Fund project. And this will tell me exactly who is involved and what particular group it is, because it is admissible in the courts, including all death records. I also want to know what the 160 million indigenous people have to say about this Forest Carbon Fund project, and who is involved in the surveys that that the credits, and who is behind these credits.
Okay.
This will be bondholders, investors, and I want their names. So I'm entitled, and I will be asking those questions. Those are the first thing I'll be asking the lawyers of the World Bank the first 5 minutes I'm in court that
So
day.
you're looking for transparency here.
Well, not just that. I want answers and I want names, and I'm going to ask the 142 organizations to verify if the World Bank lawyers or directors are telling the truth. That's what happens when you go to court. They say this, and I examine their answers, and then I can subpoena anybody to challenge their answers.
Okay.
Basically, that's how it's going to go.
Okay.
Now, according to my spy page, I'm getting a lot of interest in this, mostly corporations and bankers, and a lot of nonprofit organizations.
So when you talk your spy page, you mean on your website you're finding out who's checking your
watching
information out.
and this
Okay.
and that. It's very important, and also they have a spy page too, and they know that I know that too.
Okay, so it's like the behind the scenes.
Exactly, that's exactly
Maneuvering.
what it is.
Okay.
And
Okay.
as of today, I came to Toronto, and I thought I would find a few organizations. I've been here a year and a half that would stand behind me, but they decided not to, because they didn't think I would go this far. And a lot of organizations say many things,
Yes.
and then when the time comes, they simply ran away.
Yes.
But I am entitled to subpoena. So that's the key to everything. If you're going to go to court, you go there to win.
Right.
You don't go there to lose. So I did my homework, I did my research, and I'm ready to go. And I'm going to go to win, not to lose.
Your determination is awesome.
Well, it has nothing to do with determination. It's just the fact that I know that all this is very true. And when the time comes, many people will come to true. I was told if I proceed with this interview today, many people will step up when the time comes. There's a few people waiting for me in Vancouver about a week from now, and they're watching this interview. They're hoping to see the documents on TV,
Yeah.
and then on the monitor. Now that I've done that, I will have a lot of support waiting for me, and there's a few people that I can't mention their name at the moment,
Okay.
but on June 9th, they will be beside me in Vancouver.
Okay.
The thing was to get this interview out of the way to proceed with the last step.
Okay, we don't have a lot of time left, Michel. Is there anything else you need to let people know about today?
Well, basically, I think I got everything covered. Is there anything that you would like to elaborate on, anything at all?
Did we show all the documents?
Well, we basically did.
Did we show them long enough?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, we did. So
Okay.
people can go and review and read those documents and see them.
So next steps are the June 9th and then the 21st.
Live on my Ustream channel on 30tcs.com.
Okay. Now, and you expect to go to court in September.
August to September.
Now, are you actually going to go there, or are you going to Skype in, or how is
Well-
that going to?
Well, I'm going to demonstrate the letter that I'm going to send on June 9th,
Uh-huh.
and that letter will go directly to the
Okay,
International Criminal
okay.
Court, and that as soon as they receive the letter, I automatically enter pre-trial, and
Okay.
then they have to give me a decision
Okay.
within a month or two.
Okay.
And then whatever the decision is, I have to write to appeal.
Okay.
And at that moment, that's when I get a court date, no
Got
matter
it.
what
Okay.
happens.
Okay.
And there is also one thing I would like to say
Okay.
to the World Bank directors and the 18 judges at the International Criminal Court. The ICC has three main classes of offense: genocide, crimes against humanity, and war crimes, guilty of association.
Okay.
This is not an international matter. This is an international criminal court matter.
Okay.
Now, there has been many deaths in riots in tiny communities resulting from this forest carbon fund project. All I have to do is prove this.
Okay.
And the 18 judges at the International Criminal Court and the 142 organizations have to consider that there has been many new wars lately.
Okay.
And the Forest Carbon Fund project that is involved in these new wars that a lot of people do not see or hear about. So therefore, it is open to arguments.
Okay. Okay.
And basically, I think I covered everything I really
Okay.
wanted.
Wow.
But thank you very much.
Okay, so people, of course, can stay in touch with everything that you're doing,
Yes.
including all this,
Mhm.
at your website, 30tcs.com, 30tcs.com,
Yes.
right?
Thank you very much. And on June 9th is the last step before I enter the courts.
That's where you notify the courts.
June 9th on my Ustream channel.
So you're going to do that. People can see that
Yes.
on your website.
Yes.
June
and,
9th.
And that will be the last step before I enter pre-trial.
All right.
Michelle, thank you for taking this on behalf of everybody who wouldn't take it on.
And thank you very much for thatchannel.com for the chance to give me speak freely.
Well,
And
Yes.
it's our pleasure.
No smoke and mirrors here.
May justice prevail.
Oh my
Only
God,
one way to find out.
I feel like such a nerd. Oh my God. I can't believe
I don't even know what
just
that
did
is.
that.
It's not an alien symbol.
Is it
It's
like
just something that
is
I'm
it like
doing.
like a mind meld or something?
May justice prevail. Michelle,
Okay, I hope so.
thank you for doing this on behalf of
Thank
everybody
you.
who is seeking justice.
Good
and
luck. We'll
Okay,
be
thanks.
following.
yeah, we'll be
Maybe we
absolutely.
can have you coming on again to give us an update.
Maybe thatchannel.com can film me live on my Ustream.
Well, I'll tell you what, we can Skype in from Vancouver, wherever you happen to be, and
That sounds good.
we look
Sounds
forward
excellent.
to doing that.
And then if you actually end up going to the actual World Bank, we could maybe send you to go with you.
I would go, because it's,
Yeah.
Where is that? Is it in
The Hague.
The Hague, which is
Yeah.
not far
So you
from
notice how I
Amsterdam,
volunteered you?
which I've never been to Amsterdam.
Okay. Oh my, you have never been to Amsterdam.
I've never been to Amsterdam.
Well, I think you should take your friend Nick with you. You guys will have an awesome
We
time.
just might,
Lots of poetry reading over there.
apparently. Okay. All right, Michelle, thanks for doing this today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
Sandra.
you, Michelle.
Are we doing the high five?
Yeah.
Awesome. Great. Okay, so thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow at noon for more Liquid Lunch right here on thatchannel.com. See you then.
That's your poetry voice.
Stop putting out my fire. I'll only light it again. I carry a torch for the love of music. I'm not gonna your guitar. It's Friday night, let's go down to the bar. Stop putting out my fire. I'll only light it again. I carry a torch for the love of music. I'm not gonna let you blow out the flame. Oh no, the insecurities. It's got to be your only excuse. I got something to offer. I ain't gonna let you lose it. Light my fuse, get out of the way. I want your gasoline, not your water. Light my fuse, you force me to choose. Well, things are only gonna get hotter.
Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Picking up anything? Mic check. Mic check. 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 Mic check. You good?
Can't you see that I live for this? You know I sleepy, I breathe it. I won't let you suffocate. So come on, baby, ignite
Maybe just two, maybe. It's called Tyranny of Love. Yeah.
So we're promoting that pretty much, and then
Yeah, just a couple of readings, couple of songs, talk. Sounds good.
Stop putting out my fire. I'll only light it again. I carry a torch for the love of music. I'm not gonna let you blow out the flame. Oh no, the insecurities. It's got to be your only excuse. I got something to offer. I ain't gonna let you lose it. Light my fuse, get out of the way. I want your gasoline, not your water. Light my fuse, you force me to choose. Well, things are only gonna get hotter.
Test 1, 2, 3. Test 1, 2, 3. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Picking up anything? Mic check. Mic check. 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 Mic check. You good?
Can't you see that I live for
just 2 maybe. It's called Tyranny of Love. Yeah.
So we're promoting that pretty much, and then
Yeah, just a couple of readings, couple of songs, talk. Sounds good.
Stop putting out my fire. I'll only light it again. I carry a torch for the love of music. I'm not gonna let you blow out the flame. Oh no, their insecurities. It's got to be your only excuse. I got something to offer. I ain't gonna let you lose it. Light my fuse, get out of the way. I want your gasoline, not your water. Light my fuse, you force me to choose. Well, things are only gonna get hotter.
Test 1 2 3. Test 1 2 3. Mic check. Mic check. Mic check. Picking up anything? Mic check. Mic check. 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 Mic check. You good?